City Wrestling.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Grind City Wrestling. Happy WrestleMania week, everybody. I am Dustin Starr. Thank you for joining us here on GC Dub. Be sure to follow us at Grind City Media. Wherever you're watching, take that subscribe button to Slap City, especially here on YouTube. Go check out the archives, grindcitymedia.com/podcast. I caught up with WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther just a couple of weeks back. Also, WWE superstar Austin Theory, and so much more. All right, last week, we discussed the final boss. Is it the best version of The Rock? This week, we go from the final boss to the final countdown. It's the road to WrestleMania ends this weekend. Plus, I'm going to step away real quick and have a conversation with Buff Daddy Bagwell. It is bell time. Introducing first, my co-host, my tag team partner. He's doing the Buff Daddy strut and flexing his little noodle arms. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric McMahon. What's up, E?
What up, big dog, man? I'm anxious to hear Buff, man. I love his Dark Side of the Ring. You know, we knew Buff in a good and bad time, so it's really good to see him transition out. He's actually, yeah, you know, I hadn't been on and talked about it, but that was my best. That I'm going to lead with my best wrestling of the week with him. Like, I think that was really good episode.
We're going to catch up with Buff here in just a bit before he heads to Memphis on Sunday, April the 21st. We are going to definitely talk about some Dark Side of the Ring, and Buff Daddy's looking better than ever, according to his social media. Be sure to follow Eric on Twitter at E_MacLife. Let's not waste any time. Let's bring in the third man in the trio, because it's WrestleMania week. There's a ton to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Devin Walker.
Baby.
No offense to Buff Bagwell, bro, but it's WrestleMania week and your best wrestling of the week is freaking Buff Bagwell, dog. What are we doing?
Well, I mean, I haven't been.
Yeah,
I love Buff. I love Buff. I have Buff t-shirts.
Listen, do you like overcoming? Do you like somebody overcoming bad things in their life to
Big fan.
I'm sorry, you're just a cold, heartless man, Devin Walker.
Look, man, it's a WrestleMania week, bro. Cody's talking, Punk is talking.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Haters.
Everybody's talking this week, bro. It's WrestleMania week, bro.
I will not allow you to sit here and disparage the good name of Buff Daddy Bagwell.
No,
not even on WrestleMania weekend.
Not disparaging Buff, because Buff is the stuff. Shout out Buff.
He is. Buff Bagwell's coming up in just a minute.
In a week where so much is going on, it's cracking everywhere, bro. It's WrestleMania week. It's WrestleMania week.
Follow Devin on Twitter at Devin_Walker.
Don't follow.
And real quick, I talked to Buff, setting up the interview and stuff. He says that he feels like he's in WCW again. That's how busy he is. So it is WrestleMania weekend. I can imagine that he is booked solid over the weekend, but this dude is all over the place, especially with Dark Side of the Ring. But check this out. All right, coming up, WWE Road to WrestleMania comes to an end, and we're going to have our final prediction. So I'm going to go through the match card. You guys are going to tell me who's going to win and who's going to lose. Also, as I said, I'll catch up with Buff Bagwell, fresh off of Dark Side of the Ring. He's coming to Memphis in a couple of weeks. Can't wait to see him. Also, coming up first is the best wrestling that we watched all week, right after this.
Sunday, April 21st, Buff Bagwell returns to Memphis Wrestling. Meet Buff Daddy at our VIP experience and reserve your seat today at memphiswrestling.tv.
Welcome back. It's time for the best wrestling that we watched all week. E-Rock, you're up first.
No, I'm not up first. Devin Walker is going to chastise me left and right. And so
you already said, are you sticking with Dark Side of the Ring, Buff Bagwell, or did Devin talk you out of it?
Listen, I want to talk WrestleMania. Let's get to WrestleMania. Here's what I will say, though. Are we all watching the A&E Legends documentaries as well?
The Roman Reigns one was epic, I heard.
So, no. I like that one the least, right? And I'm going to tell you why. Because he's still an active participant in WWE, he's got active storylines going on. He was in character the whole time. It's like you're not really getting like a true behind the scenes and all this, that, and the other because he's Roman in character the whole time. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a great 2-hour episode. but they didn't like dive into like what they did with, the Bulldog or Jake or all these other ones. So it was cool, but you had to suspend, like, you had to realize still working. He's still got some storylines. He's still perpetrating these storylines while somewhat telling the truth, but mostly staying in character. It was
your worst wrestling of the week is the Roman Reigns A&E special.
It wasn't the worst. It was just not what I wanted to see in a Legends documentary. Does that make sense? Like if they called it something other, like Roman behind the scenes, dude, all day.
I have not seen it. I haven't seen it, but I did see the clip of him listening to his brother who's passed away talk about him and how good he's going to be and all that kind of stuff. That was a very touching moment.
And all right, Devin. They used to say he owes his career to Roman and stuff like that. Bro, it's so hard this week, bro. We had Ronda talking crazy. We had crazy. We
talked a little bit about Ronda last week, and we were like, man, Ronda's coming out of pocket a little bit. And you're like, I don't know, she's not. Well, now, I mean, what are we doing here?
Straight, bro. Drew Gulak just called it straight out of nowhere. He had to apologize on Twitter. Like, bro, it was so much happening this week. We had The Rock beating the hell out of people with belts on Monday Night Raw. The ref no selling.
It's not over when you say cut.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rod Zapata.
We had the debut of WWE Speed on Twitter. Like, bro, there's so much happening this week. But my best wrestling of the week, 5-star. Every week I've given it to The Rock, and I don't want to give it to The Rock again because I feel like that's a bailout, right? Because what they've been doing with that storyline, for me, I think they're building it for Cody to win. But that's whatever, cool. Because you can't beat the shit out of Cody 2 weeks in a row, right?
Right.
And Cody not win, right?
And beat him WrestleMania last year too. Right?
Exactly. So that's cool. That was great. But I think personally, the best wrestling of the week. By the way, Ricochet is going to be. I'm predicting right here. Ricochet is going to be your inaugural WWE Speed champion. He
should.
Thrived in that environment. Shout out to Ricochet.
Should be easy enough.
Should be easy enough. But my best wrestling of the week. I don't know if y'all saw this, but the contract signing between Samoa Joe and Swerve in effing Strickland. And this, I'm gonna tell you why.
I figured you would go here.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you why. Because this sets it up for finally my boy Swerve when I drive to become the new AEW champion. If you didn't see it, E-Rod, Samoa Joe Swerve did the contract signing. Samoa Joe beats the hell out of him. He makes him bleed. He has his chain, punching him, bleeding. Swerve's like tasting his own blood with the grill in his mouth. He gets the pin, wipes it in his blood, signs the contract. And he's like, ha 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 ha. You're gonna have to do more than that. Samoa Joe's like, what the hell's wrong with this dude? Goes back down, kicks him in the nuts. You're knocking through the table, and Samoa Joe walks away. I think that's a perfect setup for Swerve to finally come out on top and become your new AEW champion. It was so hard this week. There was so much going on. You even had my girl Bianca Belair and Montez Ford on a podcast this week talking about how the Street Profits can be heels. Bro, it was so much going on. But I'm gonna go Swerve.
Whoa! Did you hear what one of the words one of the lines Samoa Joe gave in that?
All about the Diddy thing.
Quote, I'm going to beat you down so severely, it's going to leave you mentally scared like you left Diddy's party too late.
Yeah, that was a bar. That was just great storytelling. But no, there was so much going on. I'm going to give that my best wrestling of the week just to go off the grid a little bit.
I figured you would just because of the Swerve signing the contract with the blood. It does feel like that they're leading to Swerve winning the title from Samoa Joe. I still think it's a little bit too early. I think they need a little more story, but what the heck do I know?
Bro, my guy Princess Nana was crying outside the ring, bro.
But he was also doing this. He was crying and doing this very slowly.
Like I love it. But no, shout out Swerve and Samoa Joe. Like I said, there was so much going on, bro. But,
oh snap! I'm actually watching it right now. He's signing contract in blood.
It's so great, bro. It's so
cool
great
stuff. All right, so the best wrestling that I watched all week, I've got two because I thought one of you might say it, but you didn't. So first of all, if you have not seen the Bray Wyatt documentary, go do it, but be ready when you do.
Oh, hold on. The reveal. Bang.
Busting out the T-shirt. Because if you're not prepared for what's coming, man, it's going to slap you in the face like a cold slap in the face because this dude was in his 30s and passed away, and his friends and family and everybody is there to talk about
Kids,
it.
man.
Kids, I mean, it was just.
What about the teaser at the
Gut
end?
wrench.
The teaser, maybe a Bo Dallas or something.
It did. There was a Bo Dallas, and I understand that it's too early to put Bray in the Hall of Fame. People are still mourning his death, his family, and all that kind of stuff. I believe that's why Bo's not back just yet, but I would imagine that Bo will be back pretty soon. The other thing that I have on the list is the CM Punk interview with Ariel Helwani leading into WrestleMania. I did not think that I was going to watch this 2-hour interview. I believe it was about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. But I listened to every single second of it. And then Cody Rhodes went on, and I don't know that he was as controversial from what I gather, but I'm going to watch that whole thing too. Rhea Ripley was on there. I think she shot an angle with Becky Lynch or whatever.
Yeah, I watched that. She showed up in studio.
Yeah. But the Punk interview is every bit of just really good shit. I mean, they talk about the fight, and it's almost like Punk going, yeah, I kind of just want to tell you none of your business because this happened in the locker room, and that's our locker room, but there's been so much said about it, and it's not that I have an NDA, it's that I just don't want to talk about it. But I'll tell you this, and then he goes
But
into
I'll talk
the whole
about
thing.
it on one of the biggest platforms there is.
Yeah. Yeah, but then
Like, what do
also
you
how
think
it was a different
he was gonna
business.
ask him?
WWE is a different
What do you
business
think
than AEW.
So
What
what
was
the hell
that,
do you think he was going to ask him about?
Yeah, right.
So
I
what the
mean,
hell does
he
CM
literally.
Punk think he was-
Ariel Helwani has a way of asking questions that's in the most harmless type of way. Like he could ask you anything in the world, and just the way that he delivers, it's like, hey, what about that? And so, man, him and Punk had a really good interview. So go check those out.
And Punk's like, hey, and Punk like kicks his feet up. He's like, shit, well, I'll tell you everything.
Right. It was a really good interview. I would definitely highly recommend that and the Bray Wyatt. All right, so WrestleMania is coming up this weekend. You can watch absolutely free on Saturday and Sunday at Dave & Buster's in Memphis. Plus, we're going to hook you up with some free power cards. This Saturday at Dave & Buster's, the Memphis Heritage Champion, Kay Toomer, will be there hosting the watch party. He's going to have power cards for you. And then on Sunday, I'll be there watching. And then also some of the other stars of Memphis Wrestling will be there as well. You guys mentioned a little bit about Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. That's coming up on April 21st. Also, Memphis Wrestling on April 21st. So really, really good stuff. We've got Buff Daddy Bagwell coming up. So we're going to get into WrestleMania, but let me step away and talk to Buff Daddy himself. Oh, yeah. And joining me at this time is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, especially now that I've got to work with him, got to know him, and it's great to have him back in Memphis coming up very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Buff Daddy. What's up, Buff?
What's going on, man?
You got it, man. Memphis Wrestling here on Grind City Wrestling. Always good to catch up with you, Buff. I don't even know where to start, man. First of all, congratulations on Dark Side of the Ring. I know it had to be nerve-wracking for it to debut and premiere, but oh my gosh, was it good.
Dude, I mean, I give all of the credit, not even some of it. All of the credit goes to how they put that out there, man. I mean, it is a great, crazy story, but man, they could have took that a bunch of different ways and made it kind of ugly if they wanted to, but they didn't. They stuck to the truth, and the reenactments and everything were they're fantastic. So, I mean, thumbs up to Dark Side of the Ring for sure.
Man, there were actually stories. And like I said, I'm not even joking. I was a big Buff Bagwell fan growing up, and then being able to meet you and work with you for all these years. I mean, I'm a bigger fan than ever. And there were stories within there that I did not know. And I never knew. I never heard. And I thought, wow, how is that even possible? Especially with today's internet and the way that we do documentaries and stuff. What was the most shocking detail that came out that maybe you were a little nervous about? Was there anything, or do you feel hey, I'm an open book at this point?
Oh yeah, there was it's again, the way they let me announce, the way they let me explain it, and the way they reenacted everything was fantastic on it. But the gigolo thing, bro, is hard to explain. You know, I mean, I'm sitting there watching that with my girlfriend, you know, and trying to keep in mind the one thing about Marcus Bagwell that you know and everybody that knows me knows, and now everybody after watching Dark Side of the Ring knows is I am very honest, truthful. And so there's nothing to hide with Mark Bagwell. From the moment you meet me, you like me or you hate me, because I am straight up. But most of the time, that way goes with people like me because they like my honesty. But it was still real rough watching the gigolo part because that was probably the deepest, darkest part of my life. But again, the way going on and seeing my wife that was going through it with me. And I think it all came out so much better than it was. And before it was just a rumor. And now I see it and think, man, he was at hard times and he was doing what he had to do. But I think it just quelled all the rumors and they just did a great job explaining it.
Catching up with Buff Bagwell here. You know what's so strange about that, Buff Daddy? I always thought that was a work. I thought that was part. I did. I thought that was part of the Buff Bagwell, you know, the strut and the muscles and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was a work. I thought it was like a TV show or something.
Yeah, I mean, what the true story is, what happened with that is in 2014, I came out of rehab, and I had a guy that was like a billionaire dude that was a wrestling fan that owned a company called Taylor and Associates. And I don't know, did you ever meet Hamilton?
I don't think so.
I thought maybe he came to one of those Memphis things, but he was just a big wig billionaire that just was bored and loved pro wrestling and loved Marcus Alexander Bagwell. And so I was going to go to work for his company, but the deal was I had to get clean, I had to go to rehab, and I was going to come back to Taylor and Associates. And at this junction, I was so tired of the independents and getting screwed over by the WWE and blah, blah, blah. I was just over the business. And so I was going to do it. So I changed my cell phone number. I go to rehab and I come back home. He dies from falling in his house. There's a $6 million life insurance policy on the desk that my name is on, but it hasn't been notarized or anything. So I've got zero money, zero job. My cell phone number's changed. And in 7 days, I have a car wreck and re-break my neck on the exact same day of breaking my neck in wrestling. April 22nd, 1998. 14 years later, April 22nd, 2014 or 2012. So it was same exact day. Nobody believes that story, but I can promise you, if we went to Kennestone Hospital and got the paperwork and all of the police paperwork, it was on the exact same day that I broke my neck 2 times.
Well, and changing your phone number is a big deal, especially in this industry when all the promoters and everybody else that pays you the money, like now they don't have a way to get in touch with you.
So no number, and the guy this idea that I was totally wrapped around was dead, and gigolos happened.
Gotcha. All right. I want to talk to you about Scotty Riggs, but you said something just a second ago about watching with your girlfriend, and I can't help but to notice, man, like I keep up with everything you do. Man, you've got a beautiful girlfriend with these beautiful kids and everything. Tell me that. I'm watching Buff Bagwell on Easter thinking, this is Buff Daddy for real.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, me and this girl named Stacy Brown met, man. And I mean, we talked for the first time we met. We talked outside of Dallas's PC for 2 hours. I was on crutches at the time with my knee, and we talked for 2 hours, man. It was the most special conversation. I walked into Steve U and I said, Steve, I go, who is that girl and what is her number? Looking back on it, 100%, I fell in love with the chick. I mean, on the first couple of minutes talking to her, and she was just a special human is the word. I use the word human now because she uses that a lot, and it just makes sense to me. Instead of person, it's a human, man. She is the best human I've ever met. I've had people that had no idea who I was say, you better treat that girl right. And I'm like, man, this girl she's a different, she has her persona in the world is every person that knows her thinks extremely highly of her. In Marietta, Georgia, the word Stacy Brown is a big word because she owns several sober living homes. And
Nice.
her ex was an addict, and that got her into the sober living homes. So from all of that, she's really turned over into, she's really big into, recovery and sobriety. And here along comes Marcus Alexander Bagwell, and so it just really was a great fit. It worked. It had been around that year mark before we started seeing each other, which that's what they say you should do. And, but I mean, it is like I always wanted children. Every wife that I had knew that I wanted kids, and we tried. We just never were successful. And my second wife, Judy, she did get pregnant and had a miscarriage, but I never had children from my own. So I was a really fun, loving uncle to my nephews and nieces. But to be able to really be here and be around the kids and them loving all over me, and it's really crazy, man. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
I love it. I love it. You mentioned being on crutches. Gotta ask, because we got you coming up here in just a couple of weeks in Memphis, April 21st. Buff Daddy returns to Memphis, Tennessee. I can't wait. Tickets are on sale right now. MemphisWrestling.tv. You can save $5 with the code BUFF at checkout. Just when we agreed that you were coming, I saw you had some surgery. What's the goal from the surgery? Will you ever be back in the ring again, or is this something that's going to take you out of the ring?
Great question. The foot is, believe it or not, it looks horrible. The foot is very minor. Major surgery, but still a very minor piece to it. The surgery is called hammer toe correction. It came from my Harley falling on my foot a week before I wrecked my car to ruin my right knee. So the right knee, the truth is, from jump, with me getting sober, I needed 3 surgeries. I needed 2 knee surgeries and 1 foot surgery to pro wrestle again and to be as close to 100% as Marcus Bagwell could be. From that, it was too much to tell people to say I got 3 surgeries coming up. So I just focused on one at a time. It was, hey, I got to get my knee done first. And that was 1 of 2 knee surgeries. So I got the knee replacement, and then I got the foot done. And then I go back in 3 months and do my knee. So in 9 months, I will be either back in the ring or able to say I will never be back in the ring.
That's the timeline, is 9 months. You'll know for sure either way that
Yep.
it's going. Will you be okay with not wrestling again?
I mean, I've done it this far, but the idea and the hope.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You've kind of eased into it anyways, because, the injuries have taken you out. So you've had a minute to kind of, just like me, I'm not wrestling anymore, Buff, but it took the pandemic, and now I feel comfortable. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing now.
Let me tell you what a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know how great you are. I remember at a pretty good height of Buff Bagwell, I got in the ring with you, and to this day, I still vividly remember you doing your thing, walking around the ring, and I went, this kid's good. Okay. Because, brother, I'm just going to be honest with you. There ain't many times I get in the ring that somebody across from me has got the whole package. And I was looking across the ring at a kid I didn't know that had the whole package. And I went, who is this kid? So Dustin Starr was incredible, and I loved wrestling you. You were really great at it, great body, the whole 9 yards. And we bonded from the jump. But the wrestling thing, I've done well by not doing it, but I still would love to get back in there. I really would. Like this weekend, for example, coming up, QT Marshall was asking Scotty and me if we could wrestle in this real easy battle royal thing, and it's so hard to explain, but my knee, the part that needs fixed, I can't do even something little, because if I go down, I can't get up because of the piece of the knee I need. It's called a knee extensor mechanism. I don't have that, which means I can't extend my knee. by itself.
Gotcha. I've kept you a little bit longer than what I told you that I would keep you, so I'll wrap it up. You're on Grind City Wrestling, Dustin Starr, Buff Bagwell. I got to ask you about Scotty Riggs, your buddy. I mean, I was a big fan of the American Males. I was even bigger fan of the theme song, and to see you guys have a moment first on the internet. I mean, literally in tears watching you guys talking, and then the lead up, it's basically the teaser for your Dark Side of the Ring, and now Riggs is back, and he looks awesome. Just give me a couple of minutes of Scotty Riggs and kind of what that means to be able to, like your show, your episode helped pretty much relaunch his wrestling career at this point. That's huge.
Absolutely, it did. And to be honest with you, I'm not even sure how much he realizes that this could be a huge step for him. And he's just now wrapping his head around it fully, but because this all came at us pretty fast. And Scotty's a very humble kid, man. Scotty don't want anything give to him. He had a really hard time coming to the crib with me in the mansion up there with Dallas's and trying to get our lives straight. He had a really hard time with that. He felt he don't want to owe nobody and don't want to be on nobody's nerves. But Scotty Riggs is a fantastic guy. I'm the one that created. I won't say I recreated. I thought of his name, which is great. The Riggs and Bertov was Lethal Weapon. And Lethal Weapon was out when we joined, and I went, man, Scotty Riggs would be a cool name. And the whole room was like, that's it, Scotty Riggs. So he had no idea that this is the very first phone call. That first phone call you saw was the first time me and Scotty talked in 2 years. And before that, probably 10. So that first call was like, and the Dark Side of the Ring is what did that. Dark Side of the Ring called me and said, we're going to be reaching out to Scotty Riggs and a few other guys. And so I called Scotty to check on him, and he told me he was living in his car. Fast forward, he comes up. He was lazy. He was embarrassed about his teeth, all the things. And we just together healed and played top golf and did all the stuff, which I can only play top golf with one arm, but I can still do it. And we had a lot of fun, and we just bonded and just remembered what it took to get sober, and remember that we used to do this clean and sober, and we had more fun doing it that way. But we just forget over time. And so together we really bonded, and it just worked underneath Dallas's umbrella. And it just really worked for everybody. And it came out with one of the best story I've ever had told on me ever with the Scotty. And then to back it right up with the Vice thing was just unbelievable.
It was great. Perfect timing. Buff Daddy, I really appreciate it joining me here today and talking about it. I could talk to you all day long, or I could talk to you each and every week about wrestling. I promise you. So can't wait to see you on Sunday, April 21st. Memphis is absolutely fired up about it. If you go and you check the ticket map, there's not a lot of tickets left. So I'm not just saying that as a car salesman or something like that. If you want to see Buff Daddy Bagwell on April the 21st at the Wrestle Center, you need to get your tickets in advance. Use the code BUFF at checkout, and you'll save $5 per ticket. Buff Daddy, is there anything you want to leave us with?
All my fans, I love you guys, and come see me on April 21st in Memphis.
Can't wait. Thank you, Buff Daddy.
Thank you, brother.
Welcome back to the studio. Buff Bagwell, man. He seems happier than ever. But let's get into WrestleMania. All right, you got 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Before we get into Mania, I cannot let you get to Mania before you get to the prelim to WrestleMania.
Okay.
NXT Stand Deliver, Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams, the main event, 2 black males headlining an NXT event. So before you get there, I just want to make sure we acknowledge the fact that I know Carmelo and Trick are going to put on a 5-star banger inside of Wells Fargo Arena, and I cannot wait. So before we get to Mania, I got to acknowledge my boy Carmelo and Trick Williams. Shout out to them, man.
I like what NXT's doing as well. Like the logo for Stand and Deliver looks just like the logo for WWE WrestleMania. So, attaching NXT along with that WrestleMania weekend is going to be big. Those guys are going to tear it up. I saw the promo face to face. Really, really good stuff.
So good.
And I'm secretly rooting for Trick Williams and everything he does, because I want my man Al Capone to be on the big stage performing live one year or something, doing Whoop That Trick live.
That'd be
all right. With the match card.
Let's go.
Where do you want to start? I'm on Wikipedia. I'm on Wiki, and it's got the card line up, so we can go from top to bottom if you want to.
Really quick. Are we a fan of 2 nights? I know I brought this up before. I don't know if we ever got an answer.
No,
Devin?
I hate two nights.
I think this year they're telling a story they're telling a story with the bloodline stuff. That's the only reason why I'm excited about it.
Well, usually, yeah, if storylines can lead into the second night, then I'm cool with it. But historically speaking, the last 3-4 years, storylines don't bleed. It's just so many people on the card. I just remember WrestleMania Sunday was,
Yes.
It was just it.
Yes, and this is a way for WWE to make more money. It's a way for the city and all the hotels, food places, all that stuff, for to make more money. So it's all cool and everything. But me as a dad, me as a fan, me and Maria like to go. We like to take Brady. Now it's going to be me, Brady, and Reese. And then soon enough, it's going to be me, Brady, Reese, and another one. So how am I possibly going to be able to go to WrestleMania?
Congrats about that.
Thank you, brother. But not just one. Now you got 2 nights of this stuff. Like, how is it? You got some kids, man. How can you go do 2 days of this stuff?
You can't, and you have to pick and choose. And then sometimes when you decide, you don't know which one you want to go to either. Right?
Yeah, so how do you pick? So if you're going to WrestleMania, Devin, so you're like, all right, you got night 1, night 2. I don't have the money to do both. You got hotels, you got flights. You're going to have to buy merch, bro. So it's like, which one do you do? So I just hate the 2 days. I understand it.
When I decide that I'm going to want to take Ethan to WrestleMania, I'm probably deciding that 6 months out, right?
Yeah.
And that 6 months out, I don't know. There's no chance of even knowing the card at that point.
It's true. All right, so let's kick it off with Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, Women's Championship on the line. Is Mommy on top?
Rhea's amazing. Rhea
is a superstar.
She's a
what
mega
does it
star,
do?
bro.
What does it do to Becky Lynch though to lose on the grandest stage of them all after this big build-up?
She'll be all right.
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, Becky Lynch is always going to be a star. She's always going to be a star because she grew that women's division to what it is. Her, Ronda, and Charlotte. So she's always going to have a place. But you cannot deny Rhea. Just like you can't deny Bianca. It's kind of like it just is what it is.
Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in the history of the world, Gunther. Does he survive Sami Zayn?
Yes. I feel bad for Sami because last year at Mania he was headlining. Now he's like gonna get scrubbed by Gunther.
Feature match though. I mean, like there's a big story here. He could make history and beat Gunther. So that's the story. The people are behind Sami Zayn, like he can do the unthinkable.
And I'm calling this is a hot take. I'm saying yes because everybody's like, Sami ain't the one you think would beat him. And so, maybe that's the send him home happy. You know what I mean?
There is a 6-pack tag team ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. So they've been telling this story over the course of several weeks, and I've heard some rumors online. Like, for instance, A-Town Down is in this match, and I heard that they might not be in this match. And then also I heard Chris Van Vliet talking to Matt Hardy, and I was at WrestleMania a couple years back in Orlando where the Hardy Boys made a big return in a ladder match. And so they're like, well, lightning strike twice or whatever. But you got this thing is loaded. Judgment Day, Gargano and Ciampa, The Awesome Truth, New Day, A-Town Down, and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
I mean, this kind
got a lot to live up to, man.
I saw the stipulation where like the match doesn't end until the belts are split up, right? Or is there
what was that?
Is it like a split tag team championship, or is it just like the first one to get the belts wins?
Well, that's another rumor that I've heard online is that they're finally going to split those tag team titles up, so they're not.
Yeah, so I think it's like one person
anymore.
gets one belt, the next tag. I think this for me, I think this is an issue that WWE has, and they've been doing so much great stuff, but I think their tag team division is lacking, bro. I don't think there's like any like amazing tag team.
I mean, the Viking Warriors aren't in there, so of course they're lacking.
This is night 1, by the way. So we got brother versus brother, Jimmy versus Jay. It will. Jay all the way.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's close. Jay is so popular, he's going to sell $1 billion in merch. It'd say yeet on it. The whole crowd's going to be doing what Eric's doing right now, and he's going to beat his brother.
Offbeat as hell.
Are you going to find a tie into the bloodline the next night or later that night?
I think so.
I think Jay's just got to win that one, man. Like, how long can these brothers keep going? It's almost like Dom and Ray. You know, they come back to it, and I love it and everything. But I'm not a fan of two siblings wrestling each other because I think it's too far fetched. That's just me, though. All right, so 6-woman tag team match. I know you guys are going to love this one. Bianca, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control. Jade Cargill makes her debut, signs a contract for SmackDown, comes out, kicks some ass, and now she's debuting in the ring. Let me say that again. She is having her first match in WWE at Wrestle Freaking Mania.
Yes, and that's on me for not bringing this up for my best wrestling of the week, because that moment of Bianca, Naomi, and Jade in the middle of the ring staring at the WrestleMania sign, that gave me chills. I want them to put that shit on the t-shirt.
I got chills. You just saying it. It's so awesome.
Wait, you gotta wait. I got. What do you have, Dustin? I got chills. So
can I say something?
Don't make me tear this shit off. I will tear this off, bro.
Can I say something obvious that I'm surprised you guys aren't talking about, though? Is like 4 people. I mean, we have 2 megastars, and we're putting it in a 4-person match. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, right. Are you serious?
I'd rather see just the 2 stars. I think Bianca is too big to be in that. I think Jade, if you're building her up to be a future main eventer, then she's too big.
Well, but Naomi and Jade need a little bit of help from Bianca at this point because Naomi just made her return.
Understood, but it's still going to be. They're still going to be second tier. They're still going to be second tier.
Jade standing next to Bianca in the ring at this point is giving her the rub that's just unreal. So that's going to be awesome stuff. Latino World Order, you got Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. I can already see the writing on the wall here. Carlito wasn't picked to be in this match, so I think he's going to be pissed off about it and probably turn heel at this point. So I think I see the story ahead, but Rey Mysterio and Dom wrestling again at Mania.
This is probably the worst match on the 2-night card. If I'm being real.
I don't disagree, but I do think it's still going to be a good match. But
but it's like, bro, second tier ass match.
Main event of night 1 is the Bloodline
match
versus Cody and Seth. Fantasy book it.
I think Rock can't lose. So Rock and Roman win to make all the odds, to set up all the odds against Cody for night 2. I think that's how it's going to go.
I would even go on to say that The Rock beats Cody. I think The Rock beats Cody.
Pins him.
And then the next night, the deck is stacked. It's Bloodline. Maybe we get a Cena. Maybe we get a Stone Cold Steve Austin because they were on the trailer in the background. You know, a little like what's
maybe
Eric
we get
like
an
to say, the foreshadowing.
MJF.
I don't know if we're going to get an MJF, but I mean, I guess anything's possible at this point. Yeah, so I think The Rock.
I really don't know when the turn's going to happen.
What's that, E? What'd you say?
I said I really don't know what to make of this first night match.
I just could see The Rock winning it that way. That when the next night comes, The Rock can say that he beat Cody. Roman couldn't. It could build to The Rock versus Cody at maybe SummerSlam, and then we can get Roman versus The Rock at next year's WrestleMania. I think there's stories all over it, and then we'll get it the next day. All right, so night 2.
Yeah, you think superstar ass Rock is staying here a whole nother year?
I mean, he had to be.
I hope so.
I think we all hope so. I think we all hope so. But dude, this guy is dude. He is giving up so much, like just to give this to WWE. I mean, I know he's getting paid out the yin yang, but he is giving up so much.
He got so much too. Like he got all these trademarks and all that kind of stuff that he owns. I mean, he's
See that? You see that?
All right, so got a couple minutes here. Night 2, Seth freaking Rollins defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre.
I think he loses the belt.
Me too. Drew's so good right now. Drew is so good right now. Like the promo with Punk, Punk trying to get him to say Vince McMahon's name on TV was hilarious.
Yes.
I think Drew's just doing some of his best work and right for the picking here for Rollins to lose the title.
Get your moment that you didn't get to have during COVID, my guy.
Yep. Io Sky defends the title against Bayley. Does anybody care about this? And I'm not being disrespectful to Bayley because I love her, but I just don't feel like
This is bathroom match type beat right here. I'm going to go take a piss during this match.
This is night 2, weak ass booking. Night 2, go get my popcorn. Bathroom break.
My super long. I might even take a shit during this match.
Damn. Up next, LA Knight, goes against AJ Styles. And I hear AJ Styles might have new theme music for WrestleMania.
No. He should keep the music he has, but no.
Doesn't fit the character.
Wait,
doesn't fit the character, he said.
Let's rewind for a little bit. Jimmy and Jay Uso, Lil Wayne's supposed to be there. Jay Uso might get walked out by Wayne. I'm looking forward to that. Fast back forward. Yeah. I don't know, dude. This is another one. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. But I think the LA Knight factor will make it fun. So
I want to see AJ Styles back up at the tippity top, truth be told.
Well, he looks like tippity top right now. This dude looks like he ate the old AJ Styles.
He's good
jacked. Okay, Logan Paul defends the United States Championship against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I feel like they were just like, hey, what can we do with these guys? Should we just put them all in the match together?
That would be fun, though. I think it'll be a fun match. I think he retains, but I think it'll be a fun match.
I think he retains as well. Then you've got the Pride, Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford with B-Fab, who I love B-Fab, by the way, versus the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross. Is it Akam and Razor?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why they're back, but Street Profits.
You want to talk about mid booking, like you said, where did these guys come from? I remember them debuting at least 3 or 4 times over the course of the last 5 years, and none of it has ever worked. I don't know. And they keep coming back looking the same with the same people.
Vince has a boner for Arthur the Pain, for sure.
But Vince isn't there anymore. How is this even happening? Like, why are they back?
Everybody's under contract, and they're just getting a WrestleMania payoff.
No, man, I think actually I take that back. I think Triple H really likes them because he loved them in NXT. They were huge in NXT. There's like Ascension. Remember them? They
can't stay on the field. No, they can't stay on the field. They're constantly hurt. And then they go away, and then they come back. Like, why do you not repackage them? You know what I mean? Do something different. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. Huh?
They're horrible. See, don't do that. Don't do that, Eric. Don't do that.
What did he say?
Call him the Derrick Rose. That's messed up. That's messed up, bro.
All right. Big main event of night 2. It's what everybody's paying to see. Roman Reigns defending. I guess it's called the WWE Universal Championship. So I guess they got rid of the WWE Undisputed blah, 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 blah championship. But anyways, Roman's defending it against Cody again. Guys, I really can see Roman winning it again this year. And for no other reason other than Hulk Hogan still has the streak for the longest reign as champion.
I thought
Devin, we've been talking about it. No, I think it's Hogan. I think he hasn't surpassed Hogan. You guys tell me what's going to happen. I'm going to look it up right now. But I think he is still behind Hogan. If he's still behind Hogan, like there's a consensus that we think that they're just trying to erase Hogan from the history books and yada, yada, yada. But why have Roman keep the title this long and get so close just to not have him break the streak?
So I think at some point in the match, listen to what I'm saying. I think at some point in the match, Roman loses the belt. Because I don't think we remember that the Zesty Taker himself, Priest, still has the Money in the Bank briefcase.
So does he cash this in?
I think the Zesty Taker cashes in.
The Zesty Taker?
I think Zesty Taker cashes in. I think Cody gets the one. Somebody gets the 1, 2, 3. Roman spears him, gets his belt back, holds it up.
But the match is over. You can't restart a match. That's over.
You could whatever. You can restart a match, bro. It's Roman.
Here's what I've got. According to ESPN.com,
Cody is going over. Cody is going over.
But listen, man. So, hey, I'm trying to plant some seeds here. I think Cody should have won last year. I think Cody's going to win this year. But when you're looking at it, Roman Reigns, 1,299 days and counting. Hulk Hogan, 1,474. Bob Backlund, 2,135. And Bruno Sammartino, 2,803. So there's a little distance there.
Yeah,
Actually, there's a lot of distance there. So maybe I just blew up my own theory there, but
Well,
Yeah,
200 days.
still-
200 days.
Well, from
you
Hogan.
have to hold it. Yeah.
but Bruno's 2,803 compared to Roman's
dude, that's
1,299.
another 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not getting that shit. I love you, dog.
We got a
but you
new
ain't
champion. Cody's going to claim the crown coming up at WrestleMania.
He's
And
gonna
remember,
finish his story. Finish his story.
you can watch WrestleMania Night 1 with Kay Toomer at Dave & Buster's. Night 2 is with me on Sunday at Dave & Buster's. And Memphis Wrestling's lineup is absolutely loaded. Check it out.
Join us for Memphis Wrestling Live this Saturday and Sunday, April 6th and 7th. Watch WWE WrestleMania at Dave & Buster's with us. It's free. Saturday, April 20th, Memphis Wrestling is coming to Little Rock for the Arkansas Travelers Wrestling Night featuring Kay Toomer, The Gun Show, and more. Sunday, April 21st, Buff Bagwell returns to Memphis Wrestling. Meet Buff Daddy live. Then head over to Dave & Buster's for AEW Dynasty. It's free to watch. Friday, May 3rd, Memphis Wrestling returns to West Carroll for a huge fundraiser benefiting the West Carroll Touchdown Club. Sunday, May 5th, WWE legend Brooklyn Brawler is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Thursday, May 9th, don't miss Bump and Grind Wrestling 2 at Lafayette's Music Room. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
All right, welcome back. WrestleMania weekend. Guys, what's going on other than WrestleMania? E, what you got going on?
You got Marcus
Ethan's got his first T-ball Saturday morning, 9 a.m. He's hit dingers, going yards, snatching balls left and right. Man, I'm telling you, if he can stay not playing in the dirt, this kid's got a shot at the show.
Good luck at that. Devin, what's going on this weekend?
We got Marcus Starr retirement night. We got WrestleMania. I'm gonna have WrestleMania
Oh, yeah.
up on my computer, so I'll be tapped in, bro. People know how much I love WrestleMania weekend, so we are tapped in all weekend. I'm gonna try to watch the Brave documentary before WrestleMania, but we'll see. But yo, I cannot wait for this weekend.
My one
And
request,
deliver.
WrestleMania, do not have Cody and Roman start after 11:30 p.m. Don't
Good
do it.
luck. I don't know.
I know.
Friday night is superhero night at FedEx Forum with the Grizzlies. And then, of course, Saturday's the Marc Gasol retirement. Devin, I was going to ask you about this. Should I suit up? Should we dress up for this Marc Gasol game?
This dude, what? Dress up as Marc Gasol?
No, not dress up like Marc Gasol. I'm saying, like, should we wear, like, me and BLJ and Sydney, should we
That's it. It's an
should we come
important night.
decked out a little bit? Because it's a big night,
You
man.
know
This
my
doesn't happen
tradition
very often.
is every Saturday night game I wear my blazer. I'll be wearing my blazer. It just so happens it's Marc Gasol night. Wear your blazer, man. Don't be a bum. Look at you're wearing it for the podcast. Wear it for
Should
the
we?
damn tournament.
We're the blazer for the podcast. What a nerd.
We actually reached out to AC to see, like, that's a big night. Should we dress up or something? So, anyways, big weekend
Yep.
coming up, and that's all the time we got. Did I leave anything
Eat,
out?
boss. Reach out to Amber.
Amber?
Reach
Well,
out to
I
Amber.
didn't. It's a group text. It's a group text with AC, so that's just it went out. So we'll see what happens. But
90 seconds.
Anyways.
Bro. We're excited for F the Cody Crybabies. I hope he doesn't finish his story, but they're all weekend, bro. I need you at least one time, Pops, for doing the pre to at least do this. I need you at least to give me at least one time on the pregame show this weekend. No, I don't need you to do
We
all
are-
that. No.
all out of time. Here on Garden City Wrestling on
Look at this jacket.
WrestleMania,
Oh, no.
baby.
Oh no!
And you,
Oh, no.
you ain't know, Devin.
Here he goes. Look at him.
Look, I can't get my cuff off.
He's got 60 seconds to do
You
it.
think I'm ready?
Here we go.
You think
Here
I'm
we
ready
go.
for WrestleMania?
Let's go.
Devin, your boy is ready for WrestleMania. That's all the time we have right now. Look, it is actually bubbling up. I am Dustin Starr. He's D-Rock Eric McMahon, and that's Devin Walker, baby, saying so long, everybody. Oh, yeah.
Let's go. He's smacking the shut of his forearm right now.
to God, cause I'm beastin' like I'm in the Serengeti. I'm a monster, dropping bodies, my mission. You might get your jaw broke, but standing against my vision.